Hey, what's going on there, guys? Nick here from Absolute MTG, and today we're going to be opening up a box of Theros. So this is the first box that I'm doing by myself here on the channel. For the booster box opening, I already did one booster box opening where Greg and I opened up a box each, and we tried to see who gets the better pulls, but this is the first box that I'm just doing on my own and talking about cards, and we're going to be looking for the rares, mythics, and foils out of this box. So we'll jump right on into it. And I'm gonna try to, there we go, tear this open. And if you guys would like to purchase a box of Theros, I am gonna have a link down in the description below to ABU Games where you guys can purchase one of these boxes. And the set's really cool. I really enjoy the flavor of this set. And I like the cards both for limited and constructed as well. Let me try and get this flap back here. Just a prop display. There we go. That's much better. So, like I said, we're only going to be looking for like the rares and the mythics and whatnot out of this box. Alright, so we're just quickly skimming through the commons and uncommons. So we have a Stormbreath Dragon to start this off. That is a great way to start the box off. So 4/4 for 5, Flying Haste, Pro White. It has monsters for 7 and monsters 3, that is. And whenever it becomes monsters, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. That's great. It's both, I want to say that it's like better and worse than Thundermaw Hellkite. Like, I really love 5/5 for 5 Flying Haste, but 4/4 for 5 Pro White, being able to dodge things like Azorius Charm, and also being able to dodge things like Detention Sphere if your opponent doesn't get a Wrath like Supreme Verdict, is just great. It just really depends on what you're playing against, though, I guess. We have a Hero's Downfall, destroy target creature or planeswalker, and a foil, Commune with the Gods. Hero's Downfall is great as well. Instant speed, like Dreadbore, being able to destroy a creature or planeswalker for 3 mana. It's like an improved Murder. Or I guess, if you want to say like an improved Dreadbore, but Dreadbore was 1 black and 1 red as well. So it's like, I guess it's different. Like, double black sometimes is annoying, but then again, sometimes black-red is annoying, so pick your poison, I guess. We have Miletti's Charlatan. So being able to copy up instants or sorceries and choose new targets for them for 3 mana. Definitely cool for limited if you're able to draft, like, Thunder Strikes or Magma Jets and stuff like that, and just double everything up. Magma Jet there. We have a Crow and Horse. And a Crow and Horse is just annoying. It's so annoying and limited to have to play against it whenever anybody drafts it. I myself don't draft it very highly. If it ends up coming in like really late, I'll end up picking it up, but it's not something that I draft very high. We have Artisan of Forms, so 1/1 for 2 heroic. Whenever you hit the heroic and trigger it off, it becomes a copy of target creature and gains the heroic ability. So we have a Hyphonia the Cruel. So 4/6 for 6, Death Touch, monsters 3 for 8, and whenever it becomes monsters, destroy all non-Gorgon creatures. It's interesting. Let's see. We have Bow of Nylea. I have a ton of these now. Bow is pretty cool whenever it comes to, like, playing it in limited. It's a great limited card because it's an awesome Swiss Army knife for a variety of different things, but playing it in constructed, like, the closest thing that I'm thinking of that would be, like, really awesome would be something like, a Pod in Modern, even though, like, they don't really need Bow, but having Bow to be able to recycle cards after you pod them away, if your opponent uses like Dismember or something on your creatures or any other type of removal that is not like exiling, being able to have Bow to recycle cards and put them back into your library to be able to search for them with pod is definitely really, really nice. We have Sylvan Caryatid, so 0/3 for 2, Defender Hexproof, taps for any one color of, any one mana of any color to our mana pool. And it's really awesome. It's a Defender mana dork, or I guess not really a mana dork because it's not 1 mana, but Hexproof keeps it pretty stable in terms of being able to like block stuff and not get blown up by cards like Magma Jet or Thunderstrike or anything like that. But it's great to have a blocker for aggro that also taps for mana. We have Temple of Silence, the white-black Scrylands. And the Scrylands are awesome. Some really sweet implications are being able to play like Chandra, Pyromaster, or Domri Raid. Of course not with Temple of Silence, but the Scrylands in general, being able to set things up into Planeswalker abilities is definitely really cool. We have Whip of Erebos, a card that Greg and I talked about on the podcast, the second episode of the podcast, to be more specific, because we are going to be doing more of them. But we talked about the card for Reanimator, and we talked about Giant Pataphage being like this most fun, like, fringe, I guess, playable / unplayable thing that you can play with it, because people have easy hate to get rid of it, but it's still a really fun interaction to have. But we have Anthusa, Citizen Hero, but the whip is cool, giving lifelink to all of your creatures, being able to reanimate a creature for 4 mana and the tap at sorcery speed it's pretty good. Like it allows you to reuse resources that you have in your deck, if not going for like a complete reanimator strategy there. We have 100-handed one, which is awesome flavor for this set. 3/5 for 4, Vigilance Monstrous 3 for 6, and whenever it becomes monstrous, it can block an additional 99 creatures each combat, and it has reach because he has huge hands, and he's not afraid to use them. Let's see. We have Reverent Hunter. So, Reverent Hunter, 1/1 for 3, enters the battlefield, and we put a number of +1/+1s on him equal to their devotion to green. Awesome in, like, mono green, of course. Playing Colonian Tuskers and Colonian Hydras to double up counters and whatnot. Dissolve is an awesome uncommon. We have Agent of the Fates, 3/2 for 3, Death Touch, and whenever we trigger off Heroic, we force each opponent to sack a creature. Let's go a little bit faster through this. We've already passed the 8-minute mark here. I know some people really don't want to sit through everything. We have Daxos of Meletis, or I guess Dasos. I don't know the rule of the X sounding like an S or whatnot, so somebody can correct me on that, what the proper pronunciation of it is. We have Arbor Colossus, so 6/6 for 5, reach, monstrous 3 for 6, and whenever it becomes monstrous, we get to destroy target creature with flying and opponent controls, and we have a foil Wavecrash Triton. The Daxos is, I really like him, but to be greedy, I want him to have hexproof, but that would just be broken at that point. If there's a way to keep him alive and like away from removal and whatnot, he would definitely be just so ridiculous. We have Titan of Eternal Flame, or Eternal Fire. Jeez, speak words. Pronunciate. Enunciate. We have Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, and I pulled a ridiculous amount of these. I think that the print run for Nykthos must be a lot higher because I keep on getting this. So it's going to play into us being able to like cast things off of our huge devotion for a certain color that we have, and we have a Pyxis of Pandemonium for a foil rare. Not the best rare out of the set, but it's definitely cool. Foil rares are awesome. But Nykthos, the only like real huge implication I've seen thus far for it is probably like mono black with a splash of red for Rakdos' Return. That's always fun to cast huge Rakdos' Return early on. We have Night Howler, so 0/0 for 3, Bestow for 4. Enchanted creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Night Howler and Enchanted creature. So, his power and toughness equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards. That's... If there wasn't Graveyard Hate in the format, if like Scavenging Ooze wasn't in the format, I think it would be probably a little bit better. I think after rotation, after Return to Ravnica rotates out, then it definitely sees some potential for play. We have Hammer of Perforos. Creatures we control have haste, 3 mana, and we have a ability for 3 mana tap, sack a land to put a 3/3 onto the battlefield. And we have a Foil Swamp. Yeah. I love foil lands. Always love getting them. We'll speed things up here. We have a Prophet of Krufix, so 2/3 for 5. Untap all creatures and lands you control during each other player's untap step, and you can cast creatures as though they had flash. 3 toughness keeps it away from certain removal. It's not the most resilient creature, but it's definitely a pretty sweet one. We have Polis Crusher. 4/4 for 4. Trample, protection from enchantments, and monstrous 3 for 6 mana. And whenever it deals damage to a player, if it's a monstrous, destroy target enchantment that player controls. Very sweet. For some reason, every time anybody at the shop finds a Polis Crusher, pulls it, drafts it, or anything like that, they always want to go and pronounce it with a thick accent, or at least somewhat thick accent. I think that's the proper way to say the name of the card. We have another Meletis Charlatan. And we have Soldier of the Pantheon. Nice. Seeing some pretty, I guess if you want to say significant play. He's seeing play in like green-white, and also in white weenie, and in red-white weenie. I guess if you want to call it red-white weenie. Where they're like, it's basically white weenie, except they're playing like Boros Charm, and they have the outlet for red as well in the sideboard. We have Underworld Cerberus. Nice, another mythic. So 6/6 for 5. Can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Cards in graveyards can't be the targets of spells or abilities. Yeah. And whenever it dies, exile it, and each player returns all creature cards from his or her graveyard to his or her hand. We have a Foil Citizen Griffin. Underworld Cerberus is definitely cool, but also kind of tricky because if you invested a whole lot of removal in your opponent's creatures and they just get them back, you really didn't get very far. I don't want to say if they can recast them, then it's kind of a little bit worse, but we have Spear of Heliod, so creatures you control get +1/+1. It's a glorious anthem for 3, but it's only legendary, and for 3 mana, tap, destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. And we have a Foil Daxos of Meletis, so he just wants to be my best friend out of this box. Getting a foil one, that's awesome. I think that's trying to say something to me. Like, I should be building something with him. I should be finding a way to play him, to break him. And we have another Pixis of Pandemonium. Probably the most undesirable card, for me at least, out of this set. And we have a Temple of Mystery. Did we already get one? Or no, we got a Temple of Silence. That's what it was. So, Temple of Mystery, green and blue to our mana pool. I think the only Scryland that I'm missing at this point is like the red-white one, and I think I'm missing like one or two of those. And we have a Reaper of the Wilds, 4/5 for 4, just great. Whenever another creature dies, you get to scry one, and it gains Death Touch until the end of the turn for 1 black, gains Hexproof until the end of the turn for 1 generic, 1 green. Just absolutely ridiculous and limited. Constructed is also constructed playable. I think it's a hugely undervalued card in the format for standard. And we have Elspeth. Nice. I definitely wanted more of these. 4 loyalty, 6 cost, +1 makes 3 1/1s. -3 destroys all creature with power 4 or greater. And -7 it gives us an emblem where creatures we control get +2/+2 and have flying. Elspeth is awesome for control. That's for control, blue-white-red control, blue-white control. She's just great. I think I'm like up to 2 of her now, and I would like to get 1 more. We have a Swan Song. Yeah. So, counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Its controller puts a 2/2 blue bird creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Great hard counter for Legacy and Modern. It allows you to counter a variety of different things. And it's a pretty awesome hard counter of that. It's not really as amazing for Standard. There's not as much going on in terms of like degenerate combos, but Swan Song for like Modern and Legacy is just sick. And we have the Sphinx, the Mythic Sphinx, Madomai, the Ageless, something like that. Correct my pronunciation, guys. But the Sphinx it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. 4/4 for 6. Flying whenever it deals combat damage to a player. We get to take an extra turn, but it can't attack during our extra turns. So, I mean, you get to take an extra turn. I wouldn't complain about that. It's definitely just really awesome and limited, especially because there's not a ridiculous amount of evasion in limited. We have a Fire Drinker Satyr, the improved Jackal Pup, and we have a Elspeth emblem. That is sick. Yeah, but the Sphinx, I want to find a way to play it, because I think it's a fun card. Let's see. We have Rageblood Shaman, that's our rare, 2/3 for 3 trample. Other Minotaur creatures you control get +1/+1 and have trample. And we have a foil Freakus Cure. And 2 more packs. Curse of the Swine. Oink it up. Exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller gets a 2/2. Vanquish the Foul. Is it Madomai? That sounds about right. Madomai. Redemption? Question mark? Is that how it's pronounced? Some of the pronunciations for these cards are just absolutely weird. And I'm not as well versed with it as well. So, we have Anger of the Gods. Fantastic way to end off this box opening. So, we definitely pulled a lot of cool stuff. So let's take a quick second to review what all we got out of here. So, stuff that is really going to stand out. Things like Anger of the Gods, Curse of the Swine is alright. Rageblood Shaman, if we can find a way to play Tribal Minotaurs. Fire Drinker's Satyr, Improved Jackal Pup. Medomai? Is that the pronunciation? Yeah, sure, maybe, alright. Don't judge me. Swan Song, we have Elspeth, Reaper of the Wilds, Temple of Mystery, Pixis, not too impressed with it, Sphere of Heliod, Underworld Cerberus, Soldier of the Pantheon, Milady, Charlatan, Polis Crusher, Prophet of Krufix, Hammer of Perforos, Night Howler for now is going to go in the other pile. It's not really as amazing right now. Post-rotation, I think it'll be great. Nykthos, it's alright. Titan of the Eternal Fire, Arbor Colossus, Daxos, Agent of the Fates, not as much right now, but later could be a great thing. Revenant Hunter, or Revenant Hunter, words, speak words. 100-handed one, Anthusa, Citizen Hero, Whip of Erebos, which I think is great. Temple of Silence, temples are always cool. Sylvan Caratid, Bow of Nylea, Hythonia the Cruel, it's an alright card. It's not really going to see much play. Artisan of Forms, A Crow and a Horse, another Charlatan, Hero's Downfall, and Stormbreath Dragon. Definitely one of my favorite things out of this pack, aside from, like, Elspeth, of course. And we also got a foil Daxos, we got a foil Swamp, and a foil Pixis of Pandemonium in terms of, like, noteworthy stuff, I would say. Yeah, we really didn't get much else in terms of foils, but yeah, I would say overall this was a really awesome box. But you guys can let me know if your box opening experience was any better with any boxes that you guys opened, and let me know what pulls you guys got down in the comments below. Remember to check out abugames.com if you guys want to order up some boxes. And remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Magic the Gathering videos. Until next time, guys, peace out.